ranked sort of things plays a paramount attention to blogs. So it will also increase your Google ranking. Some companies simply run blogs. Mashable is one of them. One of them, if you don't know about from an HR standpoint, talent and culture, I came across in some of my research for today. Fascinating blog, talentculture.com. But a lot of good information and sharing, and they promote their blogs through social media. It's not that you would know to go there unless somebody told you or that tweet came through, and that's really how I ended up there, through my social. I think it was actually a Hire Friday tag. It's that sphere of influence, that connection that you're always making that have the greatest effects. COVID, positive station identification. You can't talk about the shift, and you kind of alluded to this in terms of proprietary issue, and you guys will probably all concur. Once financially you're on a level playing field for working for a company, what is the next largest thing that people look at when they're applying or considering to work for you? And I would be surprised if anybody didn't agree with me. Culture has got to play a huge part in whether somebody's going to come work for you. Social media provides an incredible venue to promote your culture, not only by your higher entities, your CEOs, upper management, but also by your employees. And nobody does this as well as Tony Hsieh, who's the Zappos CEO. Anybody familiar with Zappos? Great. Shoe finish, right? Yeah. I love Zappos. I've been using Zappos for years. I didn't start following Tony Hsieh, who has also written the book, Delivering Happiness. If you haven't read it, short read. I haven't finished it because my husband hijacked it the other week and he hid it from me because I kept stealing it from him. But from the excerpts I've been able to read online, and from him telling me what a great book, I'm reading the action, but him telling me, I highly suggest you read it, because from an HR standpoint, he has a lot to say about the shift that's happening in corporate culture. I started following Tony Hsieh. Notice that he doesn't really say he's Tony Hsieh. His handle for his Twitter account is Zappos CEO. So I didn't know him as Tony Hsieh. I knew him as Zappos CEO. And the only reason I started following him, because I ordered from Zappos, and somebody retweeted something that he put out that I thought was pretty astute. He's known for being extremely candid. So I followed him, didn't paid attention. I thought his remarks were phenomenal. He's great at microblogging. It wasn't until May of this year, and I was actually prepping for another SM presentation like I'm doing now, and through my Twitter feed comes this tweet. $1.6 million mistake on a sister site. Guess there's no ice cream for me tonight. And I'm thinking, holy cow, why in hell would a CEO of a company tell you that they just made a $1.6 million mistake on the public? And I'm scratching my head thinking, that's a pretty major comment. So I couldn't help it. You had to click on the link, and it took you to his blog, where he promptly said, bottom line, we messed up big time when we put in the algorithm, because we were doing this great sale, it was whatever percentage off. We didn't properly program the algorithm, and it calculated a greater discount than we were supposed to. And within a matter of hours, he lost $1.6 million. First off, I'd like to have $1.6 million. But the concept of losing it, being the CEO of a company, and sharing it with the world, think about that. I'm like, wow. So I became an even bigger fan. I really paid attention to what he was doing. He is very good. I mean, followers. He has, and this is May. I have no idea where he is now. He has 1.6 million followers as of May. 1.6 million people are following him, and he just told them he lost $1.6 million. It's $1 for everybody. He does a paramount job of a number of things. When Zappos was sold, it was started in '99, it was sold in 2009 to Amazon for $1.65 billion. 10 years. 10 years. And he already did a company link exchange. He's already a $40 million millionaire. Walked away from Microsoft because he was bored out of his mind. Gave up 20% of his $40 million to walk away early. Got involved in Zappos. Here's a man that understands culture and is shifting the way companies think about employees and doing business. They didn't dump any money into marketing. They dumped it all into customer service, and they ran those concepts, those values, through social media. He is a he's a programmer, Harvard grad, definitely knew how to use the system, but he's used it really well. You don't see Zappos billboards. What he does, he paired up with Twitter. They have their own Twitter-powered account. These are his employees that tweet. And you can go to twitter.zappos.com and watch it. Because he encourages his employees to promote his company. To the extent they have a call center in Las Vegas, the hourly rate for those employees is $11 an hour. They train them extensively, and at the end of the training, they offer each of those candidates $2,000 to leave. To leave the company. Why? Because he wants them there because they want to work there. He said they started out at offering them $100 and nobody would take it. They gradually had to up the ante to $2,000 because if you're working at an $11 an hour job, $2,000 is a good chunk of change. Most of them do not take it. Why? Because he offers them a culture that they can't find in many other places. It's sort of Google-esque, if you will. Google had a lot of notability on the great playground they had out in California. Zappos is another similar thing. The other thing he does on Twitter is he follows everything that everybody is saying about Twitter. And I thought, I wonder how accurate this is. So as I was prepping for this the other day, that's me, very top, that's my tweet. If you put out anything with Zappos, he pulls it into the stream. And so you can go to twitter.zappos.com and see what anybody is saying about them at any given moment. The next great thing that he's done is after writing the book, Delivering Happiness, he took it on the road. He has his own big, huge, humongous 40-some-odd motor coach, and he is going around the country delivering happiness to a whole line of venues. The most notable thing that's happened just in the last few days, Stanford University now offers a Delivering Happiness class based on the premise of his book and the concept that companies have to think a little further out of the box. It's more about the culture and about the sharing, because he shares it. I mean, anybody that's going to share a $1.6 million mistake, Stanford class, Delivering Happiness. It's about the shift in what we're doing as companies and what we're offering our employees. But this is a man that drives it all through social media.